There we go. Good evening. All right, housekeeping things. Let's see. First thing is we need to pin a message. Hey, Oxnell. Yeah, it's been forever. It has been a minute. My stream schedule's kind of been all over the place. More of a me problem than a you problem. Let's see. Pin this message. There we go. All right. We got the message posted to Discord. We pinned our message in the chat. What else? Is there anything other housekeeping thing I need to do? I think that's it. All right, so what I'm going to work on this evening is actually going to be, it's basically an idea for a tool that I've had in my head for the last like 24 hours that I started working on late last night, and I want to try to spend a little bit more time hacking on it. Oh, you're traveling? Nice. Where are you traveling to, Oxnell? Anywhere fun? Or is it all kind of work-related stuff? All right, so here's the basic idea for the thing I'm going to build, or the thing I started to build. So one of the things I do on my YouTube channel is obviously I stream like this, right? And so on my YouTube channel, I end up with basically like VODs, or, you know, the stream video. Oxnell, what kind of tool? Okay, I'm going to explain that right now, actually. Hello, Banana. Nice username, Banana. Oxnell, my home city. My father got sick. That's why. Well, that's terrible, man. I'm really sorry about your dad. I hope it's not like a sick. I hope it's like a temporary, transient thing. So hopefully it gets better. It's never fun to travel under those circumstances. So the tool. Okay, back to the tool. So the tool is basically, it solves a very specific problem that I have right now with content creation. Is I end up with live streams that are somewhere between 1 and 2 hours. One of the reasons I like doing live streams is because during the 1 to 2 hours is we cover a lot of ground, right? So you guys ask questions, I talk back, I learn things from you guys. So there's a lot of good content that comes in, or there's a lot of good content that gets generated in those 1 to 2 hours. And so what I like to do is I like to be able to take clips that I think are either fun or insightful or relatable from the streams, and I like to post those as shorts. However, as you can imagine, this is a little tedious because like I'm scrubbing through, you know, 1 or 2 hour video and trying to remember things I said or things that happened that might make for good shorts videos. So the tool that I want to build is I want to automate that, or at least automate part of it. So, and I've got part of this working. So the whole idea is basically we go from live streams to many potential short videos, right? So 1 or more shorts. Short. So this is the tool. This is the tool I want to build. So it's like a short generator, right? And this is going to be the tool. Oops, that's not what I want. Stream shorts tool. And to begin with, I'm just trying to make like a little console app that'll do this. So this is what this tool is what I want to hack on. And I started last night and I got pretty far with it. And I just want to keep building on it now. Yeah, of course, Oxmal. Yeah, of course, man. I hate that for you that your dad is in that situation. So I really do wish him the best. Atlas Pup, hey, I've been trying to find an actual good shorts live stream, and you're the first one. Well, look at us. Also, Atlas Pup, nice profile picture. Okay, so Oxnell, let me guess. AI will take the lead on this one. Yes, so we are going to leverage some AI tools. But I want to do this. I don't want to pay money to do this, right? So I don't make money from my YouTube channel, and so I don't want to spend a bunch of money to produce the content, right? But I do want, but AI is really like generative AI, LLMs, would be really useful for this, right? So here's my current process. Here's the current process I'm going through. So step one is I'm going to use Whisper. So obviously OpenAI released Whisper. That's an open source model for doing general purpose speech recognition. And so this is a model that you can get it in a lot of different bindings, like Python. I think there's a package for Python to interact with it. You can also just install it as a global Python package and interact with it on the command line. But there's a .NET library to interact with it. So the first step is I download my stream. The second step is I have to extract the audio, right? And then, and again, some of this stuff I already kind of figured out late last night as I was hacking on this a little bit. And then step 3 is you have to split the audio up, right? Split audio up. And the reason you have to do this is because Whisper, the input for Whisper to process the model, it has to be 25 megabytes or less. And it also has to be in a wave format, and it has to have a sample rate of 16 kilohertz. So you have to do a little bit, you have to extract, I guess I should probably also say extract and convert audio. Sorry, I'm getting a little crowded here. So now I'm going to split the audio up. Then we're going to transcribe each, see, step 4, we're going to transcribe each segment. And then we're going to combine the segment into a complete transcript, right? So this is basically taking the content of the video and translating it to text. So then we can take that text and we can give it to an LLM and ask that LLM to basically do like a sentiment analysis, basically say, hey, look at this video or look at this content, extract segments or pieces of it that you think would be good shorts content, right? Basically, we'll wrap a prompt around there. Stitch individual transcripts into complete one. And then we're going to take that transcript and we're going to send complete transcript to LLM to extract shorts, right? And so for this, what we'll do is we'll ask the LLM, we'll say, hey, look at that transcript with the timestamps. Give us back like a structured response, like a structured JSON object or an array of JSON objects that says like why you picked the short, a brief title, a brief description, and then the start and end timestamps of that short. So this is where I'm at right now. I've gotten to the point where I have the transcript, but now I need to send the transcript to a large language model, but I don't want to really pay necessarily, so I'm going to try to use Ollama to start with locally and see how that goes. And then let's see, step 7 is use shorts analysis to slice up stream into shorts. So there's basically 3 big tools that we're going to use. We're going to use and like I said, a lot of this is just Legos. This isn't me like reinventing the wheel or like doing something crazy, right? We're going to use some existing pieces of technology that make all this feasible. So the big tools we're going to use is we are going to use the first one obviously is Whisper. Then the first one actually is FFmpeg, because FFmpeg is what we're going to use to extract the audio and is what we're going to use to chop up the video. So we're going to use FFmpeg, Whisper, and then we're going to use some sort of LLM. So those are the 3 things we're going to use, and we're going to try to do this all locally, so I don't have to spend any money. I can just use my own compute to do this. So that's what we're going to do. Oxnell, everything is a wrapper now. Yeah, so this will basically be a wrapper, but it just takes something that I do. It's something that takes a lot of time, or it's not a lot of time, but it's very time consuming to sit through and scroll through a 1 to 2 hour live stream and try to extract pieces out of it after the fact, right? Because I don't have like a whips like Tim the Tap Man who can like grab clips as we go, right? So this tool is going to help save me a little bit of time. It's going to scratch an itch that I have. AVG. I don't even know how to say that. AVG Livy 08. Sir, could we please get a shout out? Some prayers for my friend. He was arrested the other day on bogus charges for intent to distribute. Oh man, that's too bad. Well, hopefully he gets out of that situation. That sounds like a really shitty situation to be in. Oxnell, I don't know how TikTok do it, but it's great in real-time transcripts, also in real-time translation. Yeah, so the Whisper has been great so far. So I can show you where I'm at. I'll show you where I'm at in just a second. Saeed, your channel is something I was looking for so long. This is worth subscribing. I really appreciate your work, man. Thank you, Saeed. That's very kind of you, man. Toadstage, what's going on, buddy? Morning. Hey, Toadstage, how are you? So Toadstage, I'm really just hacking on a little utility that I'm going to build to try to make it a little bit easier for me to take my long form content and create short form content from it. Oxnell, does YouTube do this by default on each video? Is it different for streaming videos? I don't know of anything that YouTube does by default. They might generate like transcription maybe. But this way I can do it on demand when I need it, how I want it, right? So yeah, so this is what we're going to build, and I can kind of show you where we're at. I'm actually going to do this in Visual Studio Code, actually. I'm calling this tool Stream Shorts, is what I'm calling it. Guess I should update my extensions here. Oxnell. Well, I need to sleep. It's 4 a.m. here. Good luck though. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you sleep well, and good luck with your dad, man. I hope that situation works out for the good. All right. So, like I said, I started hacking on this at about 11 p.m. last night. Like I couldn't sleep, so I got out of bed and just started working on. I had this idea in my head for the last several hours. So I'm doing it in C#. This is going to be a console app to start with, and then I think I'm going to eventually put a little bit of UI around it at some point. But so the first thing we do right now is we retrieve the stream. So at this point, I'm forcing the user, or me, the user, the only user, to basically download the stream from YouTube myself and pass that in as the first argument. That's going to change probably. I think I'll probably give myself the option of passing a file or passing the URL to the stream and downloading the stream. But we get the file first. And so the first thing we do is we use FFmpeg, and this is a really cool FFmpeg library for .NET called FFmpeg Core. So you do need FFmpeg in your path, or you need to specify a path to it. If it's already in your path, this library will just work. So this is the library I'm using to interact with FFmpeg programmatically. So the first thing I do is I pass in my stream, and then I basically extract from that MP4 file a MP3, so the audio of it. The next thing I do is I convert that MP3 to the specific wave format that Whisper needs in order to run inference, right? So that's what this step does, is it basically takes that stream, converts it to a wave, and sets the sample rate to the right value, 16 kilohertz. And this is using another library. Again, I'm just basically putting together existing building blocks. This is Legos, right? More than anything. So in .NET, in the .NET world, there's this really nice library called InAudio that has way more capabilities than I will probably ever use. But this is what I'm using to do the manipulation of the MP3 to the wave format. So at this point, what I have is I have a stream that basically reflects the correct formatted audio file. However, I have to chunk that up into segments because Whisper, which is the transcription model we're using, can't accept files that are larger than 25 megs. The files that I'm chopping up are like 1 to 2 hour streams, so the complete audio file is much larger than that. So I basically have to first figure out how many segments do I need to chop it into, and then go through and actually segment that out. Then once I have all my segments, this is where I actually interact with Whisper. So this is where I'm actually downloading the Whisper model. I'm using the tiniest version of the Whisper model. There's several levels, several different sized Whisper models that you can use, but I'm just using the smallest one, specifically an English version. And I'm basically just passing in those segments of audio and then building up a transcription for each segment and then stitching that all together into a transcript file that I'm just putting in a text file. So when we get this working, let's actually try to run this real quick so you can see it happening. Make that a little bigger. Okay, so we'll say .NET. We're going to run our console project here, and I'm passing in this MP4 as the first argument. And this MP4 file is it's one of the streams I downloaded earlier for testing. Let's see if that works. Let's see, file could not. Okay, so I need to actually put a file there. Let's see. Let's download one of my old streams. Let's do a shorter one. Download this one. Isaac Mark, I can't see your code at all. It's not clear. I apologize. It looks clear on my side. Let me look on my phone real quick. It looks relatively clear here. Yeah, I'm looking on my phone here, and the text to me is readable. So I'm sorry if it's blurry for you, man. I wish there was something I could do to help with that. Idasimo, is it possible to fetch the YouTube analytics for the shorts to pass them to the LLM in order to make it better at selecting parts of the stream? Yeah, that's something I've thought about. I think it definitely could be possible. Like there's definitely ways I think to make this more sophisticated. Maybe a SQL database containing the information of the short analytics and transcript that is then passed to LLM. Yeah, I definitely think there's a way to make this much more intelligent than my current implementation, right? So maybe this is something I iterate on. But I basically just want it to take a stream and pump out, how many ever, 5 to 10 shorts, possible short videos that I can review, right? And so I'm guessing there's a way we can make this much more sophisticated where we have the LLM consider different statistics and stats and yada yada. So maybe that's version 2 or something. IPL Fighter, what work done, bro? Your LinkedIn profile's link. You can just type LinkedIn here in the chat, and there should be a link there. I think it's linkedin.stephenfreeborn.com will take you to my profile, I'm pretty sure. Aravind, what are you building, friend? I'm building a small little, right now it's just a small console app that will essentially take a YouTube stream, one of my YouTube streams, and chop it up into some smaller short videos. And the way it's going to do that, or the basic idea of how that's going to work right now is I'm going to download my stream, I'm going to extract and convert the audio, then I'm going to turn that audio into text, then I'm going to send it to an LLM and have the LLM basically do basically what approximates to a sentiment analysis. Basically look at this text and extract segments that might make for good video, and then use FFmpeg to chop up the video into those segments. And that way I'll just end up with like a directory of shorts that I can review and look at and be like, yeah, I like that one, or no, I don't like that one. And then I can post them to YouTube. At least that's kind of the initial idea. It could get more complex than that, obviously, but kind of as Simo mentioned, we could probably do a lot of things with this to make it cooler. Are you planning to publish it on GitHub? Yeah, it'll be on GitHub for sure. Yep, for sure it'll be on GitHub. I usually any tool like this, I always just kind of, if other people want to use it or maybe fork it or expand on it for their needs. But it's one of those things that just like, I think it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. I was like, man, this is getting so tedious. Remixing my own streams myself. So I was like, well, maybe generative AI can help me with this. IPL Fighter. I am BTech CSE, 4-year student. Tell me, Java developer is right. Guide me. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a Java developer. I don't know any Java. My primary languages are TypeScript and C#, but I know Java is very, very widely used in big companies and small companies, so I don't think you can go wrong there. Technical boy, are you using Cursor like the AI monkeys? I am not using Cursor. I'm using for right now. I kind of switch back and the two editors I primarily use and kind of switch back and forth between right now are VS Code and NeoVim. And depending on the day, depending on the project, I kind of flip back and forth between those. Okay, so I've got a stream downloaded here. Let me copy that path real quick. Let's see, copy path. Yeah, we'll just copy that path. We'll go back to our stream shorts. Okay, and then we're going to go .NET run, and then we're going to give it the path to that MP4 file I just downloaded. So hopefully this time it should actually run successfully. Could not find... Oh, that's because there's spaces, so I need to wrap this in quotes. Okay. Now we'll try this one more time. Okay, so it's going to do a little bit of work, but here in a minute, we should see it start to... Will it print? It should print. I don't know if I... Oh, I don't have any print statements in here. But here in a minute, we should see... a transcription file get created here in a minute. It's not the fastest thing in the world, right? Like, we're running inference. I'm running inference on a CPU, right? So on average, with the tiny whisper model, the transcriptions for like a 1 or 2 hour video have been taking about 2 to 3 minutes to generate. So it's not like the fastest thing in the world, but it's all local. So I'm not paying anybody any money to generate this stuff, which is kind of the key for me right now. There we go. There's my and so you can see you'll see more lines come through here. So we're just building up more lines. And obviously the tiny model of Whisper is faster, but it does have the propensity to have more errors, right? So that's what you trade off, like depending on which model of Whisper or which version of Whisper you select, your results will vary. So right now I'm using the tiny because it's the quickest of all of them. Arvin, that's a nice idea / concept. Yeah, like I said, it's just it's really just a pain point that I have personally. You know, I don't know how many other creators deal with it, but if it saves me, you know, multiple hours during the week of creating short form content from long form content, I'll be happy. Toadstage, why does Nightbot bloating chat, man? Oh, I can disable those timers. We set those timers up the other day, or at least I can make them longer in duration. Let's see. We'll make it. We'll just add 10 minutes to them. We'll do. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do 10. Let's see there. I guess I could also consolidate them into a single message too. All right, we should almost be done. This was about an hour-long stream. There we go. Yep. So this is the nice part about using Whisper is you can have it transcribe either segments or words. In this case, I just need segments. So each segment it transcribes, I get the text, and then I get the start and the end timestamp, right? And so this is the format. This is the transcript that I'm going to send to the LLM. And basically ask the LLM, hey, look at this, use your magical powers, and give me back some candidates. So that's what we're going to try to work on here next. So let's delete this guy. We don't want to commit that. I should also say, like, I'm really doing like a first draft of this, kind of like in a single file script, and then I'm going to refactor it and extract it out into more of a proper console app with, you know, dependency injection and all those good practices. All right. So we need to send the transcription to the LLM for analysis. So I don't want to spend any money doing this. That's kind of my first goal. Obviously, if I want to use a different LLM, like a paid LLM API, I can always do that. But to start with, I just want to use what I have locally. So I'm going to use Ollama, and I think I'm going to use the Llama 3.1, the 8 billion parameter model, to try this for a first go, is what I'm going to try. Technical boy, good. FAI. IP Fire. Tell the salary package for annual. I don't know. I think for a Java developer, it varies widely depending on the company you work for, the geography of where you work. One Piece. In future, developers will be replaced by AI. Please replay about this, sir. I don't think developers are going to be replaced by AI. That's my take. I know there's people that will disagree with that, but I just don't think it will. I think developers and AI will probably work together a lot, but I don't think you're going to get replaced, in my opinion. Techo Turtle, what are you coding? This is a small little tool for helping me do content creation and take long form video and turn it into smaller short clips. Effectuku. What programming language? This is C#. So this is, if you're not familiar with C#, it might look a little foreign, but it is C#. Sagacita. Someone needs to keep the light. That's right. That's right. Someone needs to keep the lights on. Artie, what skills are needed to get into AI? I guess it depends on what you mean by get into AI, Artie. If you just want to, like what I'm doing here, like if you just want to interact with models that other people have built, right? You don't really need a lot of special skills. Like you just need to know how to make API calls, and you're. I mean, the one subtlety probably is you need to understand a little bit like of how to prompt an LLM, how to get it to respond to you in certain ways, right? You got to kind of develop a little bit of LLM whisper ability, but other than that, right, it doesn't take a whole heck of a lot, right? If you're familiar with existing development, like doing existing software development, you can get into that aspect, I think, pretty quickly. If you mean you want to go actually build these models, I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm not in the machine learning world, the data science-y world, so it's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to say exactly what you need to do, because it's just not my forte. Yo, busy Redstone. Have you got 7 years of Blizzard experience? Nice. I'm guessing that's a reference to pirate software. People have been beating him up so much online. It's crazy. He's one of my like of the top 5, I guess, like programming, coding related content creators. He's up there, but I guess a lot of people are kind of taking aim at him lately. Yo, busy. Using a model is easier than training one for sure. Yeah, exactly. And that's where like I don't, when people say like I want to get into AI, I'm never really sure at like what level of the stack they're talking about. Like, are they talking about just like using other people's models in creative ways to power their features and their applications, or do they mean like they want to go and like work for Anthropic, right? Because those are very different things. Angelo, brother. Hello, brother. Even beyond machine learning, there are hidden layers that even computer scientists need help from statisticians, mathematics in order to accomplish. Yep. Great point. Angela, help me to create config like Silver Bullet. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, Angela. What is Silver Bullet? One Piece. Now you can run your LLM in local and host it and access the LLM API Now use this in your console app. Yeah, so I have Ollama installed. So like obviously you can use Ollama in the terminal, right? So you can do Ollama run, right? You can do this and use it from the console. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an API call to it, right? So it's an API call against the local host, right? But you could imagine, right? This could be using Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT, right? You could use one of those. Aren't the right ones. You could use Anthropic's API, OpenAI's API, or Google's Gemini API, right? So we could swap those in, but you have to pay for all those, right? So like I said earlier, it doesn't make sense for me to spend $2 or $3 every time I want to do this, because I don't make any money from my YouTube channel. So it doesn't make sense to spend money creating content when you don't make money from the content you're creating at the moment. So that's why I'm going to use something local. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get Ollama serving the model. So I'm going to start that up over here. Actually, I'll just start that up in a different terminal. Okay, so we have, what is it? Ollama serve, I think is how you do that. Ollama -- help. Yeah, Ollama serve. I think Ollama's already running. Let's see. What is the port number for Ollama? It's like 11 something. 11,434, yeah. So if we do localhost, I guess not ping, but maybe just curl. See what it says. Yeah, okay, so Ollama's running. So let's make a request, a test request. I actually don't even know. I haven't used Ollama in so long for this type of thing. Ollama API docs. How do you get these? Let's see. We want to generate a completion, so we're going to send a post to API/generate. We'll specify the model, which we've already pulled, and then we'll specify the prompt. Should the model think before responding? No, it doesn't need to think. Yeah, let's just run a quick test real quick. So we want to use 3.1 latest. See if that works. Yep, there we go. But we don't want it to stream. So how do I turn that off? Oh goodness, it's just running and running and running. Ducties, great to see you again. Just want to let you know that I appreciate the time you take to stream and reply our questions and comments. Well, Ducties, that's very nice. I do try to reply to everybody's comments. Geez, this thing's just running forever. I think there's a way I can turn off the stream, right? What is it? Stream, if false, the response will be returned as a single object rather than a stream. Yep. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to set this to stream. I'll set that to false. And we need a trailing comma. All right, this time it'll sit there for a little while, but then we'll get a response. Saga CJ, yeah, run it in the BR. Control C. Yeah, I could have killed it, but I just let it run to completion. As you can see, we pay a price for doing this locally, right? And the price is time. I don't have any like specialized hardware to make inferences run quickly. This is all just happening on the CPU. So we are paying a price by doing this all locally. And I guess, you know, we could come to a point where we decide it's worth paying to run it against, you know, Gemini. I mean, I know some of those providers have free tiers, so maybe it makes sense, but to get started, let's just try to make it work locally first. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I guess the first thing I need is a prompt, right? So let's say var, and in reality, this prompt will be read in from some text file or something, and I'll cache it. Well, I guess I don't have to cache it in a console app, but I'll probably just read it in from a text file. So let's start with a prompt that looks like this. Oh, thanks, honey. I had to get a new mouse because my if you guys were here the last couple streams, I was kind of complaining about this mouse having a problem where like it would almost act like it was permanently stuck, like clicking. Yeah, so every so often I have to do Control-Alt-Delete to get the mouse to work again, so I just got a new mouse, and hopefully that fixes it. Joe Caldwell. Hi, Stephen. Hello, Joe. How are you? MX Master. That's a good mouse. Yes, it is the MX Master. I've never had the MX Master before, but the mouse I have currently is the MX Anywhere. And it served me well for the last, like, 3 years. 2-3 years. And so I don't know, maybe it's just time for it to be retired. Anywho. One Piece coding is in your breathing? Interesting. So what you think if you control your breathing or something, or you work on your breathing, you get better at coding? Sagar, nice BG. Does that mean nice background? Also, I'm a little... Let's see. Do I need to turn down the saturation a little bit here? I feel like I'm super bright. Maybe turn down the contrast a little bit. All right, so what's my prompt going to be? My prompt basically is going to be Copilot's trying to write my prompt. My prompt is going to look something like, you're a shorts editor and your job is to extract okay, I think what I'm going to start, I'm going to say, I need your help to generate, or actually to say, to transform my YouTube live stream transcript into engaging YouTube shorts. Let's say, act as a YouTube shorts Editor, content creator. I think content editor, and pinpoint. Let's do some markdown here for emphasis. We'll say all potential candidate segments that are perfect for short form video. I'm looking for clips that are let's do funny. So this would be moments that will make viewers laugh. Informative. Copilot's helping write my prompt. Segments that provide valuable insights or knowledge. Okay, and then let's do insightful. So this could be a whole thing, right? Like we could probably spend a lot of time screwing with this prompt, but let's just start with something and see what happens. Or aha moments. This is getting kind of meta, right? Because I'm I'm writing a prompt that I'm going to use to send to another LLM, and at the same time there's an LLM trying to write the prompt. We're getting very meta here. Lucas, use the AI to do the prompt, man. Oh, you just want to like use just ask the AI to generate me a prompt? Okay, we can do that. Let's use I guess we can use Copilot. Let's see. Can you draft me a prompt to, and also let's use let's use Claude 4. No, let's use Gemini 2.0 Flash. Let's see what that's like. Let's see. Can you draft me a prompt that will take a transcription of a YouTube live stream and then respond with a list of potential segments from the stream to use as shorts videos. I don't know, that sounds weird. I only want the LLM to respond with JSON, or with JSON that is an array of objects with this specific schema. So I think we need 5 properties here. We need a title, which is a string. I think we want it to generate like a brief description, because that might be helpful for me as the human to be like, what is this segment of? An explanation. I think an explanation might be good. I think that might help the model. Oh shoot! Dang it! No, stop. Let's see. Start again. And then I think we need a start time and an end time. End time. All right, let's see what they comes up with, huh? Hello, Marv. How are you? That's pretty good, huh? So let's copy pasta. So Copilot's now acting as my prompt engineer. Oh, hold on, let me delete this first. And then let me copy pasta. I'm interested to see how long it takes to do this locally. I honestly have no prior context for how long this would take. So this is going to be the transcription. The other thing, so the one thing with the transcription, right, is oh, we need to build that up, don't we? So we'll say var complete transcription. See, a pinned line. Is that what we want? A pinned line? I don't know if we want a pinned line. Yeah, I guess we can see what that looks like. Complete transcription. So that's our prompt, and now we need to send that to Ollama. That's what we need to do now next. Nube. I like to tell it to add verbose comments on the code, but I'm bad at coding. Yeah, so we were actually using Copilot to write us a prompt is what we were doing actually right then. But it is nice. I will agree that when you are working with Copilot or Gemini or ChatGPT and you're having it help you with code, it's really nice to be able to like have it, you know, vomit out, you know, a solution, and then you can have it sort of explain its solution. So totally agree. Super handy. Okay, and we'll make a new HTTP client. Oh, and this is a disposable, an iDisposable. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll say var request. That looks pretty good. I'll do this differently. Once I get this API/generate, once I get this working, I'll refactor this into a proper solution. But I just kind of want to get this working in a single file, right, from start to finish. You know, stream MP4 in, and then shorts out. So now what we'll do is we'll say request. No, we need to actually. Can I pass an object in here? Yes, I can. So what we'll do is we need to create ourselves a little anonymous object. And so we will say model equals basically whatever we ran earlier in that terminal window. Where did that terminal window go? So basically we need to say model is going to be Llama 3.1 latest. And then our prompt is our prompt. We don't want to stream it back, so stream is going to be false. And then obviously this can be inferred. And I think we need to stringify this, don't we? So what we need to do is we need to say content. Yep, do that. But we actually, what we need to do here is we need to, yep, we need to serialize that. Copilot's trying to be helpful. We'll add system.text.json. Okay, so we got our application. JSON's the content type. We've got our prompt. We got our model. We're streaming it to false. Now we just need to make our request. And then our request, we will just print. So let's say if response success status code, well, I actually don't care if it's successful or not. I just wanted to say var response content, we'll read it as a string. And then let's actually write it to a file. Write all text async. We'll await that. And now we'll see what happens. So theoretically, we should get a response. It's probably going to take a minute though, because we're doing this locally. So imagine this is going to take a minute. Oh, also we don't need to write the transcript, do we? Yeah, we don't need to write the transcript out. All right, we're going to run this and see how this goes. Let's see, .NET. We could probably do this on a shorter MP4, right? Like that would probably be good for testing too. But let's see. We're going to run it, see what happens. Ivan, can't you do this with like Power Automate? Oh yeah, I'm for sure you could do it with Power Automate. And I'm sure you could do it with N8N too. Ivan, man, let's stream together. Help me out with my code. Yeah, if you want to collaborate on something like that, for sure. My Discord link is in the chat, so you're welcome to join Discord. Maybe we can coordinate something in the Discord. But you could, I think you could definitely, the thing that I'm trying to, the solution I'm trying to solve, you could definitely code this up with NAN, or you could probably use a number of no-code automation tools, but like, then you wouldn't get to build apps, and that's what I like to do. That's what's fun. Nomad Ned, what are you coding? So Nomad, what I'm trying to do is basically I have this YouTube channel, right, that I'm currently streaming to, and I try to make all kinds of different content, but one of the things I do is I stream like I'm doing now. What happens during these live streams is inevitably we cover a lot of ground. We talk about a lot of things. And there are moments in the live streams that would make for great shorts on my YouTube channel. And so currently what I do is I go on the YouTube app and I click the remix button, and then I try to find moments in that stream that I want to turn into a short, which is kind of time consuming. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to build a tool that will let me do this in less time, right? Kind of automate a lot of the steps. And so this is kind of the process that I'm trying to implement at the moment, where basically I download my stream, I extract the audio, I split the audio up, and then I use Whisper to transcribe it. Then I take the transcription and I send it to an LLM to basically do a sentiment analysis. And then I use the analysis from the LLM and FFmpeg to create those little tiny short videos, and then I can review it. Nomad Ned, like clipping on Twitch. Exactly. I don't have a huge following, nor do I have like a person to help me when I'm streaming to grab clips as they're happening. So I usually end up doing this after the fact, which is just a little tedious. So I'm trying to build a tool that will help make this less tedious for me, and maybe evolve it over time, right? Like I know somebody said earlier in the stream, like, yeah, you could probably have it like look at YouTube statistics and see what types of shorts get better viewership and stuff. For sure, you could probably expand on this quite a bit, but This is just an itch that I had on Saturday this weekend where I was like, man, I'm really tired of trying to remember what I said on a live stream and remember like moments that would be good shorts content. So I'm doing this. All right, let's see. SSL connection cannot be established. See inner. Oh, that's because it's not an HTTPS connection. It is on HTTP. Also, I'm thinking this thing might time out. So I probably should set a timeout that's kind of longer than what you would think. I'm not sure how long this is actually going to take. All right, let's try again. And if this breaks, we'll find a smaller MP4 to test with, because testing with a 1 hour long MP4 is probably unnecessary at the moment. Albert, is this C#? It is C#, Albert. That's C# is currently my favorite language. I always tell people on stream, if you ask me what my favorite language is, I would say C#. But if I could only write one language for the rest of my life, I would pick TypeScript. And the reason for that is because like TypeScript is just a nicer version of JavaScript, and I'm primarily a web developer, so but C# is modern C#. I know everybody has their opinions on .NET and Microsoft and C# in general, but modern C#, modern .NET is very enjoyable to work with. So if you have never used C#, I always say this, if you never use C# and you like TypeScript, you should go try C#. Marinzi, hey, what are you programming? I'm trying to build a little tool to do, basically to take live streams and chunk them up into short form video. Nomad Ned. Yeah, but it'll give you a good idea how long the process will take for a 1 hour MP4. Exactly. Yeah, it's a good test for that. You know, if I could get away with doing this in 5 minutes, 10 minutes even, it would be a win for me personally. Especially if I don't have to spend any money doing it. Because I did try to do this. I did originally try to do Whisper through OpenAI. And it looked like for a 1 hour or 2 hour stream, it was going to cost me it's 6 cents per second. So it was going to cost me about 50 cents to use their API. Which is just, I know that's not a lot of money, but like when you don't make money from your content, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to spend money, right? Like that's not good financial decisions. I'm gonna give my new mouse a go here while we're waiting. Also, I should probably open like see if this is actually doing anything. See, it's doing something. I see the Stream Shorts exe there, so it's doing something. And Ollama looks like it's. So it's definitely doing something. Just have to wait. Chris, MX Master, it's silent. Nice. Somebody said it's a nice mouse. I mean, it's kind of a pricey mouse, so I'm hoping it's nice. Right now I have an MX Anywhere, and that thing has served me well for the last like 2 or 3 years, but I think one of the buttons on it is broken, and that's why I bought a new mouse. See if I can see add new device. See if it finds this guy. There you go, MX master. Okay, we're up and running. I'm gonna turn the old one off, and hopefully we can never have to deal with frozen mouse problems again. Done. All right, this is taking a little while. Nomad, will this be running locally as you stream? I don't know what exactly how I'm gonna do it. The first thing I'm gonna build is a console app, so that I can just do this on command, like on demand, right? That I think that's the simplest way to go from like not having anything to having something. I think what would be nice though is to have this be automated fully, where whenever I end a whenever a live stream ends. Yeah, how would that work? Basically, whenever a live stream ends, to have some sort of process that would like automatically kick off this process, that would be nice, right? Like, and then just dump the videos someplace where, you know, all I have to do is just review the videos, right? Like I just, and particularly my current workflow is I just look at the videos on my phone and you know, yes, that's a good short video, or no, that's not a good short video, right? And then post what I want and not post what I want. But for right now, the idea is finish a live stream, download the video, run this tool against that video, and then have some shorts. Ivan, we all know your email now. That's all right, Ivan. My email has been very public for a very long time, so that's okay. Hey, what's up, Artwork Studios? How are you, man? I appreciate you. I know you haven't been able to make it to a stream, but I've seen all your comments on all my short videos, so I appreciate you checking in every so often. Someone says something about cursor. Okay, look, it finished. I should have probably timed that, shouldn't I have? But let's see what the analysis looks like. Let's see. Just close that. See what this looks like. What is this context field? Let's see the response. This appears to be the transcript of a live stream or podcast conversation between multiple individuals. Okay, it didn't do. It did not do anything I wanted it to do. So the prompt went in. So why didn't that work? Because that is not what I wanted at all. Also, I don't know why that. What is this context thing? Let's see. Ollama context array. What is this? Huh. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that is. Any event, we did not get the analysis I was looking for. So the response is obviously not JSON like I told it to. Toggle word wrap. So I think we need to either refine our prompt. Yeah, we need to change something. I mean, this is definitely content from my transcription though. Like the stuff it's referencing in here, this is definitely referencing stuff from the transcription. Let's see. Let me put a timer really quick. Bar stopwatch equals new stopwatch. And we'll go down here and we'll say stopwatch.stop. Total what? Total minutes probably. Yeah. Okay, so maybe Llama just can't handle maybe Llama's underpowered. Maybe I won't be able to get away with doing this locally. Hey, what's up, Nelson? How are you? Chris, still haven't thought of an intuitive hotkey for the button thumb. Yeah, I don't really do much fancy with my mouse other than click left click and right click. So it gave you a description of it? Yeah, pretty much it did. It gave me a description. So it's almost like it didn't even pay attention to any of this. And I'm wondering if that's because the transcription is so long. Like, I'm wondering if maybe if we reorder these. Or let's just try a shorter transcription really quick. How about that? Let's just instead of, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll say we'll just have Whisper transcribe the first two segments. And let's send that over and let's see if the response is any better. So it should be much shorter. See what happens. Yeah, smaller and people. Yeah, let's just see. Maybe it's the context length screwing with the prompt. Riyadh, there's a Reddit with the same. Oh, how am I supposed to use the context thing? Is that what you're talking about? This? I just don't understand why they are handing back all that information. There's a ton of just numbers that's just like bloating the response. Well, I'm glad my mouse works. Oh, the context array is a tokenized representation of the conversation history. Interesting. Very interesting. Chris, is just asking for good shorts too vague? Probably. Yeah, it's probably too vague, but I just want to get it to a point where like I have the nuts and bolts of this working, right? And then we can tweak the prompting from there. This is like my initial, I had this idea Saturday, and then I started working on this for like an hour last night at like 11 o'clock at night. And so I'm just trying to get like the complete thing, where the end-to-end solution working. So that took 2 minutes. Okay, that worked, or that seems to have worked. So let's. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have, if the transcript is really, really long, I'm gonna have to do something different. Yeah, so it's got a start time, it's got an end time. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool. And then see, I can parse these durations and feed those into FFmpeg. This is awesome. This is gonna be so cool. This is gonna be so cool. I know this is probably not super cool to everybody else, but for me, who for the last 3 months has been remixing my streams into shorts, this is gonna save me a lot of time. Let's use it now, and then use the now. Okay, so we need to take the JSON and we need to deserialize it into a strongly typed object. So how do we want to do that? So we have to basically deserialize. We have to deserialize the response, then deserialize the response property. Because the response is supposed to be JSON. So we need to deserialize this, then deserialize the response, then use the response to generate the short videos. But that's cool. So this is going to work. It's probably going to take a little bit of finessing from a prompt perspective. We're going to have to do something to manage the length of this prompt, because these transcriptions are going to be for an hour-long video, so they're going to be pretty long, right? There's going to be quite a bit of text in there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of experimentation. The prompt engineering. I always think of prompt engineering as like you're trying to tickle the model in just the right way to get it to do what you want. It's the word calculator game. Nomad maps out the transcribed text. Yes. I think, well, Chris, parallelize it. Yeah, I think there are parts that we could parallelize. I think the whisper, we could probably parallelize this, where we're taking the segments and transcribing them. I think that's parallelizable. And this is probably too. So this is actually, both of these loops we can probably parallelize, right? So we chunk the audio. We probably only need one loop, actually, right? One parallelized loop where we chunk the audio, ask Whisper to transcribe it, and then at the end of that loop, bring all the transcripts back together. Yeah, so I honestly, I don't know how much time we could benchmark it, right? We could probably do some benchmarking to see how much faster that would be. I would imagine it probably wouldn't be that much faster for like, 30 segments, but if it's, if a stream turns into hundreds of segments, it's probably faster. I honestly don't know though, because there's a lot of I/O happening here. This is definitely not. Well, I guess there's not a lot of I/O because I'm not writing to disk. So we'll see. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We should look for ways to make it faster for sure. Chris, I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I mean, I think that's a good suggestion. I definitely think there's a place here where we could, we don't need 2 loops, that's for certain. And there's definitely, I think, an opportunity here to parallelize because we're transcribing the whole thing in parts anyways, and we only need to combine the transcription after we have all the parts back, so they can be transcribed independently of each other. No, man, that's pretty neat, bro. I got into messing with FFmpeg back when we needed codecs to watch different stuff on PC. I mess around with PHP mostly, but this is awesome. Yeah, I think this is gonna be. I think this is definitely gonna save me time. That's for sure. Have you uploaded any? Have I uploaded any best coding practices documents for your LLM? I find I got better results from DeepSeek after doing that. No, I haven't done anything like that, but I don't really code in that way. I'm not really a vibe coder. Um, I use Copilot quite a bit for tab completion. And then if I want to riff with Copilot, I usually do that in a chat window. But I don't really do like the whole cursor agentic like prompt. I've tried it a couple times and I've walked away from each session being like, yeah, that wasn't as fun as writing the code myself. Brett, there was some encoding library that I saw that reduces or down, but in the end you get billed for the same tokens. It was more storage. Yeah, I think at this point I'm not going to pay anything because I'm running Whisper locally, I'm running Ollama locally, I'm using FFmpeg locally, so all the compute is my own. Obviously, that means I'm going to sacrifice some speed, right? But I think it's worth it. Artwork Series. Oh, wow, Steven. Right now there's 60 viewers. Hey, look at that. We got some people hanging out with us, which is great. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Renos, can you hack ISS? No, I cannot. I am not a hacker. And even if I was a hacker, I would only use my abilities for good. All right, what's the next step here? The next step is to try to create the short videos. That's the next step. We'll work on the prompt thing. We'll figure that out. But let's try to create the short videos now. So we have this response. It's JSON. So let's deserialize this. So let's say var response JSON equals, and instead of that, let's actually deserialize this into like a strong type. So we'll say record analysis, or actually let's just say LLM response, and this, we'll just worry about one field right now. This, I need to apply an attribute to it, I think. So I need to say property JSON. What is it? JSON? Is it JSON property name? This will be response. So we will deserialize this into an LLM response. Okay, and then we have a, what do we have now at this point? We have another record, which is going to be the LLM analysis. Yep, which Copilot properly inferred is going to look like that. It's wonderful. Thank you, Copilot, for saving me time. So we'll say var analysis. Okay, let's save that now. Just as a gut check, right? Just as a gut check to make sure we're cannot convert from, oh, response JSON. Ugh. Oh man, this is going. I don't know why, but VS Code right now is moving very slow. Dan Story, what will your tool actually do? Yeah, basically, once the tool's, basically the tool is going to do this. Sorry, let me go to my diagram that I had. It's easier to explain with the picture. It's not super complicated. It's just going to take a live stream from my YouTube channel and turn it into a bunch of shorts or potential shorts that I can look at and review. And this is kind of the high level process that we're implementing at the moment, where we're basically, we take a stream, extract the audio, split the audio up. We're going to use Whisper to transcribe it. We are going to take that transcription. We're going to have an LLM do basically a sentiment analysis on it. And then we're going to take that analysis and we're going to generate small videos from the larger stream. Nomad, once completed, this could run locally on a small media PC. Yeah, I think what's going to, so first thing I'm doing is I'm just going to have a console app, right? Nomad Ned. But I think eventually what I want to do is I'm going to have this running as a small web app in a container, and I'll host it on a VPS inside my house. I think that's where the end goal is, because like I said, I think at the end of the day, what I'd want to do is I don't want to have to run this on demand. I would really like it if this thing just did this work for me, and I just reviewed the videos, or I just always had like a running list of shorts that I could post. But that's that's much further. I just need to get this working first. Let's see. So let's take I know this is kind of dumb, but let's write these back out. Why is this complaining? Oh, okay, that's fine. And this really doesn't like that I'm newing this up every time. Well, that's not really relevant to what I'm doing at the moment. So just suppress it. Okay, let's see if we can get this JSON blob where we want it. So let's just delete this old one. Delete it. And then let's try to generate it again. See how this goes. Dan Story, this is C#, by the way, as far as the language goes. And also, Artworks, I'm sorry that your video quality hasn't been the best. Could be me. I don't have any drop frames, and my network connection looks really strong. So, but I apologize if the video quality is not super great. Funny meme. Hello, sir. Hello, funny meme. How are you? I think we're super close here to having a fully functioning prototype, and I'm getting a little excited. equals slash 1080p here on 2 gigabits connection. Nice. Well, that I'm glad. I'm hoping somebody's having good video quality. So thanks for leaving a comment. That's nice. Nah, my network is running WPA and I live like across the globe, so it makes sense. Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We're beaming the stream up to the internet, up to space, and then back down around the globe. Or actually, probably is beaming under the ocean, right? It's probably running across some underwater cables to get to you. Funny meme. I'm fine. I'm fine as well. Funny meme. Please, what are you working on? So we're working on this thing right at the moment. So one of the things that I've been doing in terms of content creation on my channel is I've been streaming. And then one of the things I've been doing with my streams is I've been remixing them in the YouTube app into shorts, like taking clips that I think are funny or shareable and turning them into short videos. That takes time though, and it's often difficult for me to scrub through an hour or 2 hour video and try to remember the pieces of that stream that I thought were good for shorts content. So I'm trying to offload that work to sort of an AI editor in a way, I guess, that will basically generate like candidate short videos for me from a stream. So like I give it a live stream and it creates, let's say, 5 short videos that I can then review and be like, yeah, I like that, or no, I don't like that, and post the ones I like and delete the ones I don't like. And this would probably save me a couple hours of time during the week. And then maybe I can expand on it then, right? So this is just kind of the initial iteration that I'm trying to hack my way through at the moment. All right, it didn't break, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, so this is basically all I need, right? So the title, I can use that to write I'll use that as the short name, or the file name for the short. And then the start time and the end time, this is what I'll parse in and give to FFmpeg for clipping. And so I think at this point, all I need to do is I need to take that LLM analysis and I need to iterate over it and have FFmpeg chop up the video. Sure. Okay, so what we'll do is, instead of writing that to JSON, we don't need these options anymore. Okay, so we have our analysis. So we need to then say for each var, I'm going to call it result in analysis, or I guess, yeah, for result in analysis. I guess that can be null, huh? Let's see, if analysis is null, we'll look up a string. Hopefully it won't be null. And now we'll use FFmpeg to slice up our video. So the file name is going to be, we have to make this safe. We have to make this safe to write to the disk. So we need to do string concat s dot result dot title, and we want to split that on any invalid characters and then put it back together. So we'll take the title, we'll split it on any characters that aren't valid for their file name, and then we'll just put them back together without those invalid characters. And then we need to, yeah, I think that's it. I think now what we need to do is we need to say FFmpeg I think we need to, Is that right? We basically need to make a sub video. So I think there's a, yeah, sub video async. Does this have an overload that takes a, so that's the input and output. And I have the MP3 path. So arg0 is the file path for the big stream MP4 file. That's arg0 because I'm passing that in. So I guess I don't need a stream. So I guess this would work. So I could say, I need to await this. Sorry guys, hold on one sec. I'm gonna lock in here for a minute. So, oh my God, VS Code is moving so slow. So it wants the input, which is my arg0, then the output, which will be the file name, then the start time and end time, which are time spans, which that should work. That should work. Okay. So arg that, and then we'll do we don't need to put, I'm not going to put this in a directory just yet. So let's do, oh my goodness, why is this so slow to edit at the moment? And then it'll be result start time, result end time. And that's going to complain at the moment, I think, because that's a string. And these should be time spans. And the JSON serializer will already parse a string to a time span, so I don't need to parse that manually. I can just have the serializer do it. Okay, so we give this a try. So we should end up with some videos at the end of this when this runs. So let's try to run it. Now we'll just wait. See, Nomad Ned. Funny meme. Is it not easier to build in Python? I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I really like C# a whole heck of a lot, and I'm not a huge Python guy. I know how to write Python, but it's not what I reach for. They have every language, every tool has trade-offs and has benefits and upsides and downsides. / I use a 10-year-old HHKB mechanical keyboard. I just recently paid $40 to get the micro USB port fixed. I need to buy some replacement canonical springs next. Well, that sounds like a fun project. Gotta love yourself mechanical keyboards. Funny meme. Is this AI engineering? I don't think so. This is more of like using models in a useful way to make an application or a feature in an application, right? So I'm not really building AI, but I'm using models that other people have built to help facilitate my particular use case, right? So I'm using Whisper to do transcription, which is a machine learning model that's meant for speech recognition. And then I'm using Llama to do the kind of sentiment analysis or the shorts analysis on the transcription. But I'm not building any AI. I'm more of building with AI, I guess, would be a better way to look at it. Ali, hello, America. Hello, Ali. How are you? All right, if this works, that might be the end of the stream for the night. Because this is like, I think this is pretty far to get with something like this in terms of like, I thought of this on Saturday. I have about 3 hours or 4 hours of coding into this. There we go. Look, here we got our MP4s. Nice. Okay, let's see if they'll play. Hold on 1 second. Let me pause the music real quick. Let's see, reveal in File Explorer. Let's open this up. Yeah, it worked. It gave me a 1 and 15-second clip.
We basically need to fix that using closure. Because we one last two.
Cool. I mean, obviously, like, that's probably not a great short video, but like, we have our output, right? We took a stream, we took a large MP4 file, and we turned it into 4 smaller MP4 files. And the idea, so the end goal would be then, I have this tool as a console app in my path. I download my stream. I invoke, stream shorts and then the path to that file. And probably I would be able to specify an output directory. And I would have all these MP4s written to that output directory. And then I can pick that up on my phone and post what videos I like and delete the videos I don't like. So let's go ahead and delete these guys, because we're not going to end up writing these to our directory. Let's see, delete. We probably also, I probably need to do some testing, but I'm guessing it probably makes sense to add a little bit of buffer to the start time and end time, right? Give myself like 5 or 10 seconds on either side, just in case the LLM doesn't quite capture the complete segment. Complete segment. So there's probably some fine tuning that needs to happen here. There's definitely some fine tuning that needs to happen with the prompt. So I'm gonna write a little note here. Oh, let me turn the music back on too. So I need to add a little note here that says to do explore this prompt further seems to break when transcription is too long, is long. I won't say too long, but it's just long. It's almost like the transcription's so long that the LLM ignores this first blurb, right? Which is something you have to deal with LLMs. LLMs typically will pay much more attention to the first pieces of text or the first tokens and the last tokens, and not a ton to what's in the middle. Yeah. So, but we have essentially taken what we had on this Excalidraw, right? We basically have what we have here on this Excalidraw, and we've turned it into a working script. Now we need to refactor it into like a proper app, write some tests, but this is a good proof of concept. I just wanted to make sure I could actually do this locally. Like, I wanted to make sure I could find all the necessary libraries. I could actually use models on my computer locally to verify this would actually work before I invested too much time in it. But yeah, yay, success. That's awesome. Edwaith. Hello, Edwaith. Sean, that's definitely AI engineering. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I didn't know how people define AI engineering, right? So if that fits in that definition, then for sure. Our work is, what time is it for you, Stephen? It is 9:32 p.m. / how many params does your llama model have? I think this is the smallest one. So let me look it up. I think it's 7 billion. Ollama models. Let's see. Llama 3.1. It's this one. So it looks like it's the 8 is the 8 billion? Yeah, 8 billion parameter model. And I'm trying, because I'm doing this all locally. I'm trying I'm trying to get away with using the lightest weight models. But we could explore. We could make this all configurable too, right? Like we could say we could have like a config file, or when I turn this into like a proper web app, we could have like settings in the web app, right? People could say, like, people could even say we could default to use local resources, but then we could also allow people, or I could allow myself, because I'm really the only user of this thing, I could allow myself to configure it to use paid services, right, if I wanted to. Cool. I'm really happy with the fact that this works locally. This is awesome. The key linchpin, though, I'll tell you what, the key linchpin in all of this is Whisper, right? Because if Whisper couldn't take, if I couldn't take the video and turn it into text, the likelihood of being able to accomplish this task would be far, I think, less feasible, or much more complicated and convoluted. So the fact that OpenAI made Whisper available open source, and the fact that there are these libraries that let you interact with Whisper locally like this, that's to me was really the linchpin in actually making this doable. It can help determine when speaking ends and start. Oh, that's interesting. Voice activity detection. Okay, I'll have to put that in the back pocket. That sounds interesting. Artwork says, "Hey Steven, are you able to see some of my messages? I'm not sure if they're sending through." I do see your messages. Tigu, what's the concept for the app? The concept for the app is basically what that Excalibur drawing was showing. Basically, take a live stream video or a recording of a live stream and extract shorts from it. That's the concept. Jackson, hey, I was there in your last live as well. I used Llama 3, but the context window is very small, and Llama 3.1 is much better. I think I'm using 3.1. Yeah, I'm using Llama 3.1. The context window on 3. What is the context window on 3.1? Is it 128? I think it was 128, wasn't it? 128,000 tokens. Which I never know how to think about tokens, right? Because a word is not like a token can be more than just a singular word. Let's see if we can find something that like 128K context window example or something. Like, how do I think about that? Yeah, 300 pages of text. Yeah, a 1 to 2 hour transcription is not going to be 300 pages of text. So we can definitely fit our transcription in that context window, but something about my prompt is not good enough quite yet, because whenever I put the complete transcription in there, it returns gobbledygook. So I need to experiment with that a little bit. Sean, Whisper is so good. I used it the other day and was so surprised at how easy it was. It really is good, and I'm not even using the beefier model. I'm using the, like, I think there's one that's called like Turbo, V3 Turbo, but I'm not even using that. I'm using Tiny, which is like the smallest, most least capable, right? And I'm getting pretty good results, I think, which is awesome. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool piece of tech. Jackson, for LLMs, you can try using llama file or llama.cpp if you have small configuration CPU. I seem to be doing okay with the CPU at the moment. I don't think speed's really my biggest issue at the moment, because we're talking about taking a 2-hour stream and chunking it up to a bunch of shorts. And so if that even if that process was to take 10 minutes, like, that's a win for me, right? Like, speed is not. Now if I was to provide this as a service for other people, I could see like maybe we have to look at it differently, but since this is just an n=1 app at this point, I'm totally fine with that. Artwork Studios. Okay, thanks, Steven, because I used browser for a while and couldn't tell sometimes. Oh yeah, no worries, man. Your messages seem to be getting through fine at the moment. /, yeah, it's called Turbo. Whisper made to run on like embedded devices, etc. Yeah, the Whisper model is the hero of the story here. Yeah, and 10 minutes is still relatively. Yeah, it's relatively fast, because currently what this looks like today, this process today, what it looks like is it's Steven staring at his phone, using the remix functionality in the YouTube app to do this. So this is definitely a win for me. This is to me, these are the most fun projects, right? This is like the most fun thing about being able to code or build things is you can have an idea or you can have a problem that you understand really well, and you don't have to wait for somebody else to build a solution and sell it to you. You can just go and create it yourself and use it yourself. And if other people benefit from it, because I will put this on GitHub, if other people benefit from it, that's great. But like, when it scratches your own itch, it's always a ton of fun. What do I want to do now? So I think what I'd like to do, I think I kind of want to spend a little time being a prompt engineer, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to transcribe that whole MP4. So let's remove this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that transcription and I'm going to write it to a file like that. And then I'm just going to comment out the rest of this code for the moment. And I think I'm going to go over to Postman. And I think I'm going to experiment with this prompt and that complete transcription and figure out how exactly I need to send that over to get a proper response. So let's just GC that for the moment. And then let's get the transcription really quick. So let's run through this. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use, I don't know how many people here are .NET developers, but I think I'm going to use Spectre Console. And I'm going to build like a really nice looking CLI interface for this Spectre Console. Yeah. This is such an awesome library for building CLI stuff. You can do all kinds of pretty printing. I think this is what I'm going to use to kind of make the output really pretty. And then once I get a working console version of this, I think I'll move over to building kind of some sort of Blazor server app that basically uses all the same guts, but obviously exposes it through more of a GUI. Artwork Studios, yeah. In fact, coding is way to get paid software for free. Exactly, right? Like, because you could imagine somebody builds a little micro SaaS around this type of functionality, right? You imagine like all the big streamers out there, right? You got to imagine the Primeagen, Tim the Tatman, all these guys. They're doing clips. I see their clips all over the internet, right? On all TikTok, on YouTube. So you got to imagine their editors are doing this type of work. So somebody could likely build some sort of micro SaaS tool. And, you know, if you could help those guys save, you know, 4 or 5 hours a week, and if you could layer some sort of more sophisticated prompting around this to where you're taking into account like the performance of previous shorts and whatnot, like if you got really, I could just see somebody building this out to actual product that people pay for. But because I know how to code, I could just build something that fits my needs, which is wonderful. I believe the analysis would work better if you chunk the video into parts where speaking starts and ends. Maybe. I mean, see, what I'm doing right now is I'm extracting audio, and then I'm chunking that audio and passing that off to Whisper to transcribe. That's so basically what the inputs and the outputs look like is we go from a single file, a single video file. So this is where we start with, stream. And then we go to stream, and then we go to a audio of that stream, right? So this is like a stream MP4. And then we go to an audio MP3. And then we do one more step with this MP3 where we turn this into a WAV format. And we're doing this all in memory. We're not actually writing all this to disk. I mean, we could. Maybe we have like an option in the CLI that if you want to keep the artifacts, you can. Then what we do is we chop this up into a bunch of smaller ones. So we chop this up into a bunch of smaller ones. Like that. These all have to be less than 25 megs or Whisper can't handle them. And then we transcribe all these, right? So the only thing we actually send to the LLM is the text of this audio. That's the only thing we send to the LLM, is the transcribed text, the complete transcribed text. Equal slash, yeah, I'm saying further chunk it out. Well, I don't know how much further you chunk it out, right? Like right now, the audio files are in 2-minute chunks. I mean, I guess I could turn them into 30-second chunks, but I think those are optimizations that probably I need to build some benchmarks and some testing around that, right? And then start to experiment with some of those variables. Equal slash, you know how many tokens it is? I can probably figure that out. So this is this would be the complete transcription of that MP4 file. So this is like an hour of audio that's been transcribed. And so we could send this to Ollama, and Ollama could tell us how many tokens is in here. Raphael, this is fun. How often do you stream? I try to stream once a day, every day. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. But usually I stream for like once a day for a couple hours. It's typically what I do. Anise, how are you making sure not to slice an audio? I'm not, Anise. So that's definitely, I think that's kind of something equal slash was getting at, that's probably something you could make an improvement to not slice it mid-word. And I think, was it equal slash? I think equal slash was talking about looking at models that do speech detection so that you could avoid that. But right now, it's 100% possible that some of the audio could be split mid-word. Anise, it might be wise to have overlapping chunks. Yeah, that's a good idea. We could definitely do overlapping chunks. That's not a bad idea at all. But at this point, yeah, at this point, I'm kind of at that initial inception phase. So there's all these like additional improvements we could probably make. Yeah, improvement, voice activity. Yeah. So I think like obviously like there's some like duplication in here. Like I'm guessing this is like just the fact that I'm using the tiny model. There's probably some inaccuracies. The tiny whisper model is probably not the most like performant, but it's the fastest, right? Or I should say the tiny is not the most accurate, but it's the fastest. So I'm making some trade-offs. But I think what makes the most sense at this point is to get this into a working app with test cases and some benchmarking, and then explore some of these ideas that you guys have about like, well, what if we use a different model? What if we add the voice activity? What if we do some overlapping transcription? All those things, right? And you could kind of experiment and see, do you get better outputs that way, better results, right? That's the first thing we'd have to define is like, what's a good result, right? Which is still, I think, a little nebulous in my mind at the moment. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let me go over to let me open Postman real quick, because I'm just curious why when I dumped the whole transcription in there earlier, at least in that one attempt, things went really poorly. So let's do a new collection. What do we call this? We'll call this Stream Shorts. Yep, Stream Shorts, and then we'll add a new request. This will be a post. This is going to be local. Oh, no, it's not HTTPS. I know this is probably really small on screen, so forgive me. I'm just curious. Let's see, we do JSON. And then let's see, model. And then we'll do stream. It's going to be false. And we are going to do prompt. And the prompt is going to be a big old nasty, a big old nasty piece of text. Let's open Notepad really quick. Good old Notepad. Okay, so if we were to take our prompt from our code, it would look like this. Oh goodness. Tell you what, VS Code, I don't know if it's VS Code, I don't know if it's the Vim extension, but right now, editing this, selecting this text is really laggy. Alright, but I could just do okay, and then the complete transcription will go there. Got too many windows open now. So let's select all this. Copy. Paste. So this is what we're sending, right? So how many characters? This is 53,000 characters. 762 lines of text. So this doesn't look super large to me. But we do have these line breaks, which we don't want. I don't want line breaks in here. So maybe that had an influence on it. Let's take the line breaks out. That's an easy thing to fix in my code. I'm sure there's a faster way to do this. Bear with me, I'm sorry. This is the game of the word calculator. What's the right words to put in to get the words you want out? Okay. We're almost done. Bear with me. We're almost done. Okay, so we moved all those line breaks that we weren't expecting there in the transcript. Okay, so now let's copy this. And I wonder if Postman can even like accept this much. This is gonna be so ugly. Okay, so we're gonna paste that. Oh goodness, did we just break it? No, I don't think we broke it. Oh, this probably needs to be separated on like a single line. Yeah, that's frustrating. There's got to be a better way. I'm sure there's a better tool to do this with than Postman. Hey, what's up, Sogo? How are you? Yeah, it's been a minute since we've hung out on the live. I think it's the extension, as I found VS Code extremely fast, even on my lower end PC. Yeah, maybe it's the extension. / You ever tried NeoVim in VS Code? That's what I use. It's full Vim embedded in VS Code. Yes, I tried the NeoVim extension, and I didn't really care for it. So I'm using the Vim extension, but the keybinds just mimic what I have in NeoVim. Anis, the above LLMQL helps you being some structure to your prompts. Think of it as a template engine for prompt generation. I think your message didn't get through maybe because of something in it, but you're talking about LLMQL. What is that? LMQL is programming language for LLMs. Robust and modular LLM prompting using types, templates, constraints, and an optimizing runtime. Well, that's cool. But is it only for... So how would you use this in an actual application? Huh. Looks interesting. Looks super interesting. Thank you for the recommendation. I'll have to bookmark this. Steve, it might be better to use chat completion API and format it as a chat with items. Just a thought. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even look at Ollama's. Do they have? They have probably two different endpoints, don't they? So generate a completion is different than generate a chat completion. Oh, they have JSON mode too. Let's see, generate chat completion. Generate next chat and message in a chat with the provided model. This is a streaming endpoint. The messages of the chat. This can be used to keep a chat memory. Yeah, this might be a better. This is what I'm more familiar with working. You're 100% right. This is what I want to do. Yeah, this is more of what I want to do. Yep. That's the type of endpoint I've used when I've worked with Anthropic's API or Gemini or what's the other one? Chat OpenAI. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That's much more. I saw the first. I didn't read the docs. That's my problem. Oh, you can also programmatically retrieve models now. I don't think that used to be a thing, did it? Pulling a model programmatically? Maybe it always was, and I just didn't know. But that's awesome. So that's something else I can work into this. Is just programmatically pull whatever model that I have configured. Excuse me. Okay, so I've got a. Hold on. Let me save this because right now I'm at a probably a pretty good place to stop for the evening. Let's see. Test prompt for stream shorts. Save that. /neovim extension is a lot more stable now. I literally can't use VS Code without it myself. Sorry it didn't work for you, but I don't use Windows, so I'm unsure if it's buggy on Windows. Oh, it wasn't that it was buggy. It was just the reason why I didn't keep using it was because it seemed odd that it was like full-blown NeoVim in VS Code. So that felt kind of weird. That was the reason that I didn't pursue it. But maybe I should give it another go. Software is my life. I don't have friends or do anything else. Well, I like to code, but yeah, I definitely have friends and I definitely have other hobbies, but to each his own, right? It's your life. You should live it the way you want. Tired of you call yourself a Vim user, yet you delete new lines by hand instead of using a macro or a proper CLI tool. Yes, you're right. You're 100% right. I am a nascent Vim user. If we were applying martial arts belt ranking to my Vim-Fu skills, I would be like a white belt. For sure. So go love to see the stream popping off now. Oh yeah, we've had pretty good consistent viewership tonight, so maybe we're just lucky this evening because usually it's only a handful of people. So thank you all for hanging out with me. It's fully customizable though. So I have NeoVim configured on my machine. And I do bounce back and forth between VS Code and NeoVim. To me it just felt awkward, but maybe I need to give it a try, give it more than 20 minutes to see if I like it. I like to bike too. I don't bike, but I like to walk. Those are the two of the like physical activities I like the most right now. Or I like to go for long walks and I like to lift weights. Those are kind of the two things I'm into. Yeah, you should definitely come into Discord. The link's there in the chat. So if you wanna join in and hang out, you are more than welcome. Tristan, interesting. What chat are you reading in your term? Oh, this? Are you talking about this, Tristan? So this is so the thing we're trying to build. The thing I'm trying to build is basically take a long form stream and have a way to programmatically generate potential shorts from that stream. And the way we're doing it is we're basically taking the stream, extracting the audio, chopping up the audio, then we're having Whisper transcribe the audio and then give us a complete transcription of that audio, which is what I'm looking at right now. It looks like it kind of looks like chat, but give me a complete transcription, and then I'm feeding this into an LLM to give me back potential sections of my video that I might want to turn into a short. So that's what this is. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, Tristan. Anise, awesome stream content, Stephen. The audience here is quite awesome as well. Yes, we have been lucky. Cross your fingers. Knock on wood. It's been a minute since we've had been inundated with a lot of trolls. Early on this year, when I first started streaming, that was kind of a problem, but so far we've gotten lucky. We've had pretty nice people come hang out. / I was doing weightlifting but got bored. Ah, man, I love lifting weights. I've probably lifted weights every day. So probably from the age of 13 to the age of what I am now, 32. I've probably lifted weights on 95% of the days between those dates. It's just, I very much enjoy it. So good. Long romantic walks on the beach. They're not romantic walks, but they are long walks. And I say long walks, they're like 45-minute walks. I try to break it up either into 3 15-minute walks or one long 45-minute walk. And I usually listen to audiobook or something, or a podcast. / I'm one of those guys that uses terminal a lot. People always fascinated by it. Yeah, I love to see people who have a terminal based workflow. That's actually the whole NeoVim thing started because I was watching a lot of Primeagen content, and every time I would see him open NeoVim and work in it, I would always be like, man, that looks awesome. That looks like so much fun. It looks awesome. And then finally at the beginning of this year, I watched a series of videos called NeoVim for Noobs. And that series kind of convinced me that I could create, or that I could sort of recreate my workflow in VS Code in NeoVim. That was really what gave me the confidence to give it a go. And now I really enjoy it. And I think I have a pretty decent setup. I mean, I'm sure there's better ones out there. I definitely think I'm a unique character in the sense that I use NeoVim in PowerShell on Windows, and I often use NeoVim to edit C#. I don't see a lot of C# developers working in NeoVim. But yeah, I do enjoy it. I think the thing I've loved the most about using NeoVim is semi-learning Vim motions, right? Like I said, my VimFoo skills aren't the greatest, but I've enjoyed learning to have more of a keyboard based workflow, or at least editing workflow. And now whenever I go and use tools that don't have Vim motions, like I'll be in a Google Doc and I'll just be spamming the heck out of J or K. Why is this not working? Now I expect every editor to have Vim motions. Tristan, awesome. I appreciate it, Tristan. I'm glad you like that idea. I'm kind of scratching my own itch in this sense that it should help me save a little bit of time during the week when I'm creating content. =. I don't really customize NeoVim. I'm too busy outputting code for clients these days. Well, that's a good problem. Tristan, I just made the swap last week. NeoVim rules. Yeah, it is a lot of fun to work in. 100%. Definitely, I've got a long way to go with my Vim motions practice, but yeah, totally agree. It's been awesome. Yeah, most C# devs use Visual Studio. Yeah, and I will admit that like if you're working on a large .NET project, like if you're working on a large .NET project that has like 80 something projects, NeoVim's probably not the right tool for that job, you know? Like Visual Studio is definitely the right tool for those types of huge solutions. Or if you're doing any type of like complex profiling, or maybe you're doing like multi-threading debugging, like Visual Studio is the way to go. But if you're doing smaller projects like this, you know, it's fun to use NeoVim. The only thing I need to figure out is using Azure integration tools without VS Code. I don't use Azure integration tools in VS Code, so that one I can't help you on. But yeah, there's all these like for me the big thing was figuring out how to debug C# in NeoVim. That was particularly how to run tests and debug tests in NeoVim. That was really the the thing that I needed to be able to do in NeoVim to make it a viable alternative to VS Code. And it seems like everybody has those little niche things about their workflow that they have to sort of figure out how to recreate in NeoVim, and it can be kind of painful because not everyone is doing that thing. So there's not really like a straightforward answer. You sort of have to figure it out yourself. Tired of. Since we are on C#, what's the best way to actually get started? Probably. Um, I would probably recommend going through the free Code Camp course on C#. It's actually it's a partnership with Microsoft. Where is it? Yeah, free foundational C#. So it's a kind of a partnership between Free Code Camp and Microsoft that walks you through kind of the basics of C#. Um, that would be probably a pretty good starting point. There's also a guy on YouTube named Tim Corey. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He has some pretty good content. He has a couple courses, I think, some couple free courses actually, where you build projects. Let's see if we can find one. The suggestion site app is pretty good. I've done that one. This might be a good one here. C# from start to finish tournament tracker. That might be another good one. But yeah, Tim Corey's got some good content on C# stuff. But obviously, I'm always a shill for Free Code Camp. I think they do a wonderful job with all the things they put out. Equals / NeoVim has LSP, right? Yes, it does. At least I have it set up that way, so you can see like you can get all the goodness of an LSP in there. Excuse me. Tristan, I'm giving you a follow for sure. Where do you all stream? I only stream here on YouTube. So if you give me a follow here, you'll be in the know. / my monitor is an ultra wide Samsung one at the office. I love it. It's curved, can look at 2 VS Code at once. Yeah, I don't have an ultra wide, but I guess I have an ultra wide, but it's not like a curved Samsung one. It's an LG. Let me see if I can find it and show it to you. Let's see, LG 32-inch ultra wide. Yeah, it's like this guy right here. I guess it's a 34-inch. It's not curved though. It's just a flat monitor. I don't use it, but I did work with one like this for a while. My current setup is I have two 27-inch monitors. They're not like fancy or really expensive or anything. They're just 1080p. And then I have a small third monitor that's like a portable. Like it's probably 16 inches. It's not very big. But what I usually do is I'll have like my work on my 2 monitors up here, and then I'll usually have like YouTube or a podcast or something playing on my third, or I'll have like Slack pulled up on my third. But yeah, having your monitor setup dialed in for your workflow is a must for sure. Excuse me. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a big monitor. I try to explain this to my folks, my mom particularly. Like in old school work days, right? Like in the olden days, everybody used their desktop, right, as their workspace, and so everybody wanted like a nice big desk with lots of space. They can lay out all their papers and organize all their different stacks of work. And so I always try to explain to her, like, the reason why I have so many monitors is, like, monitors are the modern equivalent to that type of a desktop, right? Like, you want to organize your stuff on your monitors and use this monitor is dedicated for this. And, people have like dedicated monitors for their Slack, right? Vertical monitors for their coding. So yeah, it's kind of important if you do a lot of like digital work to have a good monitor setup. All right, I realize I haven't done any coding for like 20 minutes now, but I think I'm kind of done for the evening actually. So I'm going to probably sign off here now, and then I'm sure I'll be back again to work on this some more on stream. I'll probably work on it a little bit off stream too, so I don't know how much of it. There'll probably be a jump in progress between when I work on this on stream, but I'll try to keep you guys updated on how this progresses. The only really thing I feel like I need to figure out before I start to refactor this is I just need to figure out that prompt. That's the only real thing, and then I should be able to refactor this into a nice little console, nice little CLI tool. Using 3 monitors would be hard to get used to for me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the thing, / have a good night. I should sleep myself. Yeah, I should sign off, and I probably, to be honest, I'm probably gonna keep working on this. I'm just gonna do it off stream a little bit. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for me. Arkin, sorry, right as you get here, I'm ditching out on you, man. I'm sorry, man. Timing. That's that terrible, terrible timing on my part. But yeah, appreciate you guys all hanging out with me, keeping me company. With some good viewerships, good chats, good progress made. And I should be back tomorrow at some point. Honestly, I don't know. Tomorrow's my oldest son's birthday, so I don't know what the stream schedule will look like for tomorrow. Arkin morning just started in this part of the world. Yeah, man. Time zones, man, they're getting in the way. Adixta, what are you building specifically? So I'll give one more recap on this before I sign off. So the tool that I'm building. So one of the things I do is I stream on my YouTube channel, and then one of the things I often do is I will go into the YouTube app and I will go to one of my live streams and I will click on this button that's called Remix, which basically allows you to create shorts from your longer format videos. And this is it's a little time consuming. It's a little tedious because you're like scanning through hour or 2 hour long videos and trying to remember and trying to find segments that you think would make for good short content. And so the tool I'm building is essentially to help automate that, right? To sort of be like my shorts editor. So the tool will essentially take a live stream, an MP4 of a live stream, chunk it up into small audio segments, use a machine learning model called Whisper to transcribe that audio, and then stitch the transcripts back together to create a single large transcript. Then we're going to take that transcript and we're going to send it over to an LLM to say, hey, review this transcript and pull out segments that might make for good short videos. Then we'll use that analysis that the LLM returns to actually create short clips. So that's basically what the tool is at this point. Raj, what LLM are you using? So right now we are using Llama 3.1, the 7 billion parameter model. So I'm trying to do this all locally. So I'm using Whisper locally, using FFmpeg locally, and then the LLM is running in Ollama. Now, obviously, we could swap all this out for paid services, but I was trying to avoid spending a lot of money creating content that doesn't currently my YouTube channel doesn't make me any money. So we're trying to use all local local resources. That way I can use my own compute. $8 billion. Yeah, the 8 billion parameter model. Llama 3.1. So that's what we're doing. Anywho, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. So appreciate you hanging out with me. If you do want to hang out or interact with either chat or me outside of a stream, the best place to do that is our Discord. And you can find that by just going to, there'll be a link in the chat here in a second, but you can also go to discord.stephenfreeborn.com. Otherwise, I will see you in the next stream, or see you in a short or a video. Leave a comment. I try to respond to all my comments. So look forward to seeing you there. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a good rest of your, a good rest of your Monday. And if it's already Tuesday for you, have a good rest of your Tuesday. And I will, catch you guys in the next one. See you, Arkin. Good night, man. Hope you have a good day. Raj, please do more like this. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep, I try to stream like once a day for an hour or two. I don't always work on the same thing every day that I stream, but I kind of bounce back and forth between a bunch of different side projects. But there's stuff like this. They're all stuff like this. It's just like scratching my own itch or learning something new. So yeah, man, if that interests you, definitely come back and hang out with us. Raj just subbed. Appreciate it, Raj. Thanks very much, man. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. Bye. Bye. See you guys.